Yay, I'm live. Oh my gosh, it's been like forever. All right, so I'm just gonna wait a little while for people to show up. Hopefully people show up. I don't know how long. Um, because it's been a minute. Yeah, it really has. Plus, I didn't even announce this. I was planning on announcing um me going live so that more people would actually like, take the time out of their day and like know in advance. But sometimes we're just a spontaneous mess, and spontaneity is exciting. It is. I like it sometimes. Other times it could just mess up your whole vibe. But yeah, it's Saturday night. Just got home from work. Um, and I thought it was time to show my YouTube channel some love because, this is and has been a big part of my creative my creative side for 4 years now. And I'm really glad that this channel has like been able to build somewhat of a following. You know, um, this is there's not anybody here right now, but I know like once this is like uploaded and reruns, when people watch it whenever like they can, like on demand, um, then they'll hear the story. But anyways, the point I was trying to make is that this is not my first ever channel. Um, can people even hear me? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, this is not the first ever channel that I've had. Um, technically, this is the third. My third YouTube channel ever. Um, the first two weren't really that successful. It was just me being goofy, um, doing like random skits and everything, which at the time I thought were cringy because I was like 15 years old. I was young, but now looking back, I thought they were sweet. They were wholesome. Just a young child trying to entertain, which is what I've always loved to do. Just be entertaining, entertain people, and yeah, it's always I like it. Hang on. Let me check to see if this is actually like going on because I'm waiting for people to arrive. I don't know how long I should wait. Did it announce it? Like, okay. I'm trying to see if it like actually published on like people's notifications like, "Hey, Justin's going live." Um, but yeah, I'm just going to wait a little bit for more people to arrive. Meanwhile, I'm just going to Oh, people are coming. Yay! Hey everybody. Um this is basically um a surprise live stream on a Saturday night cuz what other way there is no other way, no greater way to spend your Saturday night. I know for me like doing something anything creative, like anything in the creative realm is a great way to spend any free time, whether that's writing, drawing, making videos, playing music, whatever you like to do. I always try to encourage people to like really use their creative side, use their imagination. Because I know like at school they teach you growing up like how math will have like a huge importance in your life and reading and all these books will have a huge importance in your life and they will. But in my opinion, your creative side, your imagination, that is also very, very important. So I always tell like young children, all the ones that are in my life, like all my little cousins and my younger siblings too, like always like yeah, your schoolwork and stuff, math, science, that's history, that's all important. But being creative and using your imagination That's also important too, by my standards at least. 'Cause, like, the most greatest human accomplishments ever, like, all the artworks, like the Mona Lisa, and also all the inventions, like the plane, all this stuff that humans have made, it all started with their imagination. It all starts in the head. So yeah, just if you learn anything from me from ever watching my videos, it's just use your imagination and embrace your creative side because it is very, very important. I love creativity. I love it when people just think out of the box and create wonderful things. But yeah, I just I'm just ranting on a Saturday night, waiting for more people to show up. Um, I do have like a list of topics that I do want to talk about, but we'll wait a couple minutes until like a few more people show up, and then like I can like bring it on. But if more people don't show up because they're out partying on Saturday night, having fun in the clubs, I get it, and we'll just all the people who stay at home on Saturday nights, raise your hand. Nah, no shade to the people in the clubs. It seems fun, but like I'm more of a stay-at-home kind of person. I don't really like to go out that much besides like work and school. I just come home and yeah. I've been watching a lot of like shows and stuff on because I have so many streaming services now. I have Netflix, I have Hulu, Disney Plus, um, HBO Max, and Paramount Plus. Those are my five streaming services. I also have Audible too. Um, so just a whole bunch of streaming stuff that gives me a lot of good content to like listen to and watch and to entertain myself so I'm not bored. I don't really get bored that often. It's very hard for me to get bored, but it happens. And I have a whole list of like shows and stuff that I recommend for people to watch. Like if you ever want to know what shows, like if you're what shows you can watch during the summer, I have like a really, really good list. Some are kid shows, some are not. Like it's a whole mix because I know like a variety of people watch me and have different interests. Um, some are comedy, some are like a little darker and edgier, but I have a whole bunch of like recommendations for like shows and movies you can watch during the summer break. Like, how at school they gave you like the summer reading list? Well, this is going to be your summer watching list. Okay? This is your homework. Watching these shows and movies. But yeah, sorry if the video quality is a bit off. I'm filming on my laptop's webcam, which is not a very like clean camera. I usually film videos on my phone, which is an iPhone 12 Pro Max, and that usually has a very good camera quality and audio quality too, apparently. And those were for the videos that where I show my face. Before then, I just like record using my microphone, like an actual microphone, and I'd edit everything on my laptop. But yeah, here we are. Um, what y'all do for the 4th of July? I was so busy, I had to work. I have a job. Even though YouTube is kind of a job too, like, I do get paid like, I earn money from YouTube, I do, but it's not, like, a substantial amount to where I wouldn't need, like, an actual job. So, yeah, but, the extra money is nice, and it's fun getting paid to do something that you actually like to do. Not that I don't like my job, I actually do. I work retail, Um, I guess I can say where I work at, it doesn't really matter. I work at H&M, okay? I've been working there for over a year now, and I feel really great about it. I feel really secure in my job. Like, I feel like I'm good at my job. I know that, you know, all of my coworkers like me. I like all my coworkers. It's a very nice environment, very inclusive. Um, so I feel like I have like a pretty stable job there that I'll never ever like be fired or anything. Not that I'm bad at my like I don't mess up. Okay, I did, but I've improved. Okay, that's the important lesson, improving in life. Doesn't matter if you make mistakes as long as you're improving, as long as you're learning and growing. I hope you guys can hear like what I'm saying. The thing it's showing like it's going up as I talk, like the little sound measure. So I'm assuming people can hear me. But yeah, I like my job at H&M. They pay me well. They don't pay me like my salary is not high, but I work a ridiculous amount of hours, so I make a lot of money. Um, yeah, what else was I gonna say? My job. Oh yeah, my summer recommended stuff. No. Before that, okay, 4th of July, summer. Yeah, I'll just get into like my summer recommended like shows and movies and stuff. Um, Let me see. I wrote it down somewhere. Okay. Some are like, because this whole channel is based on like Disney and Nickelodeon and children's entertainment. So I'll list some of the shows and stuff that are like within that realm, but also like some other stuff from like other projects, other networks. Okay, so the first show I recommend is Quantum Leap. So for any of you guys who are nerdy, who are into sci-fi, anything like that, I know you all love nostalgia. You guys love old shows. I do too. Um, Old music, old television, old pop culture. So this is a sci-fi show from the late 80s and early 90s. It ran for 5 seasons and it's a drama, so every episode is like an hour long. And well, it's comedy too, it's funny too. So dramedy. Yeah, it's drama and funny. And it's about a scientist who invents a machine that lets him go back in time, but he can only time travel within his own lifetime. So he can't travel to an event that happened before he was born. And whenever he time travels, he's in a different place every time and he's a different person every time. So like he would travel in one episode to a random man in Kansas, and then he'd time travel to another place and he'd be like a little girl in Mississippi in 1963. And then he'd be like a teenage boy in North Carolina in 1982. It's like different time, different place, different person. But the only thing is that he is never himself ever. Like he's always different people. Was there an episode? Yeah, there was one episode where he was himself during like the later seasons. He was his younger self. And the reason why he keeps time traveling like to all these different people and places is because he is like going back to pivotal moments of these people's lives and changing a mistake that like they did originally that messed up their lives forever, and he's going back in time and fixing that mistake so it never happened and their life would be like great for like how it should be. So yeah, playing with he's really playing with fate over there. So yeah, I recommend Quantum Leap. It's an amazing show. I loved it. And they really did get into some social issues like racism, um, homophobia, and during the later seasons, they actually like talk about like real life events that happened, like the JFK shooting and also the LA riots in the 90s, and how it was like very racially motivated. So yeah, Quantum Leap, recommend that. That's for all my sci-fi fans. Um, for all the girls, um, I recommend Reba. So Reba, of course, is the sitcom starring the talented singer, country singer, and actress as well, Reba McEntire. And that show, it ran for 6 seasons and is about Reba's character, Reba Hart, and is she's married, she has a family, and then she finds out that her husband is like stepping out on her and he has like a mistress. And oh, I see more of you guys showed up. Basically, right now I'm talking about like shows and movies that I recommend for summer, like in case you guys are bored and want something to watch. Right now I'm talking about a show called Reba, which is a show from like the early to mid 2000s. It was on from 2001 to 2007, and it's a sitcom, and it's basically about like Reba, this country singer, and she has a family, and then she finds out that her husband cheated on her with a lady that he worked with named Barbara Jean, and you know, he ends up divorcing Reba and moving in with Barbara Jean, and it's a whole mess. The whole show's a whole mess. Also, Reba's teenage daughter is pregnant. So yeah, there's that. This show was so hilarious. Van and Reba McEntire, their ca- no, 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 Van and Barbara Jean, those two, the actors that play them are so hilarious. Especially Barbara Jean. Barbara Jean, Melissa Peterman, who plays Barbara Jean, is the best actress on the show. She just commands your attention. She commands the whole room. She is so funny. And I found out that she actually went to college in my hometown, Mankato, Minnesota. MSU, yes, that's where she went. So yeah, I recommend Reba and Quantum Leap. Reba's on Netflix. Quantum Leap, I watched it on the Roku channel. I don't know if it's still there. I can double check for y'all. Why am I saying y'all again? Okay, I mean, I lived in Texas for 5 years, but I haven't been back there since 2019. And I'm not even originally from there. I just said I'm from Minnesota, so um yeah, I'm trying to find out if the show is still available to stream on Roku so that you guys can watch it, um, in case you're bored, because I want y'all to watch good shows and have good content. Okay, it's not on Roku anymore. That's where I watched it in like late 2022. But oh wait, no, this is the new one. I was about to say it's on NBC, but this is the new version of the show. Ooh, if you have Peacock, the streaming service, it has um it has Quantum Leap on there, so you guys can watch it. The original one from 1989. So yeah, those are two shows that I recommend: Quantum Leap, Reba. I also recommend for the girlies, I recommend She's Out. Yes, it's a children's animated TV show, but I still think it's good. I've talked about it in a video, the video where I talked about like the death threats that Mia Tallarico from Good Luck Charlie got, which is ridiculous because she's literally who would send death threats to a 4-year-old child? Ridiculous. Y'all should watch that video. Poor Mia. Charlie Duncan does not deserve that. But anyways, I talked about a show called Shizao, which is an Australian TV show, like an Australian animated TV show. and it's basically about a 12-year-old boy named Guy, and he's a pretty typical little boy. He likes skateboarding. He's kind of gross. You know, what you would think a stereotypical 12-year-old boy would be like. However, he has an alter ego who is a superhero, which is cool, not really groundbreaking. However, his alter ego is a girl named Shizao, ultra feminine superheroine who goes around fighting crime with like her lipstick and her fishnets, and she is just like a very, very feminine energy, which is so cool to see, especially in children's entertainment. Because I don't think I've ever seen anything like that, especially during the time that it was on. It was on in 2012. I believe that's when it started. And during that time, like the world was not as accepting as it is now. And I feel like as time goes on, the world will become more and more accepting, which is great. But especially for the show to be on during the time it was on, of course, Autumn parents, the 1 million moms, they complained. Yeah, they did complain. The 1 million moms are always going to complain, like, oh no, this show is teaching our children that being transgender is bad and it's confusing them. And I'm just like, okay, it's just a guy who has a superhero like alter ego who just so happens to be an ultra feminine woman who can also fly. So yeah, she's a wonderful. She's Out is such a wonderful show, and every time Guy, like the boy, reveals to one of his loved ones that he is She's Out, like She's Out is like a local superhero in their town, like a local celebrity, and she's like passed down from generation to generation. And every time Guy reveals to the people around him that he is Shizao, they're all like they act as like similar to how somebody would act in the real world if their friend came out to them or if their family member came out to them. That's how they act in the show whenever Guy reveals that he's Shizao. So yeah, I love that show. Even though it's a cartoon and it's animated and it is intended for young children, I still love it. I should go rewatch it now. The animation does look a little bit off at times. Sometimes I feel like I'm watching not a video game, but it's just anyways, it's hard to describe. So yeah, those are 3 shows that I recommend so far. Reba, Quantum Leap, Shizao. Um, where did I watch Shizao? On Tubi, probably? Yeah. And then the 4th and final show that I recommend that you guys watch. Oh wait, there's also another one. I'll get to that. The 4th show is a show called The PJs. So y'all know Eddie Murphy, the actor. You know, he had his like breakthrough in 1983 with like Beverly Hills Cops, I think. He was so young. Yeah, 1984. So 40 years ago. Wow. That's how long Eddie Murphy has been like on top for the last 40 years. Can you imagine how old he's 63, so he got his breakthrough when he was 23. What a long career. Congratulations, man. But yeah, he primarily does movies and he has his entire career. He did have a song, what was it called? Let me search up Eddie Murphy's song. Party All the Time. We all remember that. We remember that. We remember that. Y'all should go listen to that. It's a fun time. But anyways, Eddie Murphy primarily stuck to doing movies. However, in 1999, I believe, he had his own TV show called The PJs, which is like a claymation type of show. So think like Paranorman or something like that. It had 3 seasons, and it's about Eddie Murphy's character being like the superintendent in the projects, which for those who don't know are like the rundown part of the city, like where a lot of black people tend to live. Um, we know people up in the projects. I'm just saying. You all might not know, but like we know people up in the projects, okay? But anyways, like it's just not a fun place to live. There's crime everywhere. And this show is so funny. It is so great. Highly recommend the PJs. It's on Tubi, free to watch. Just like She's Out. What's another show? There's I have so many. There's if any of you guys are into like anime at all, there's this show that I watched like so long. It was in 2018, during the summer of 2018, when I was 15 years old. Oh my gosh, can you believe that? How the time has flies. So there's this show called Erased. I watched the live action version of it. I didn't watch the anime version of it. I watched it on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. I'm looking it up right now. Okay, so yeah, I was like, it's not a movie, it's a show. I remember that vividly. It had 12 episodes. I remember that too. So yeah, it came out in 2017 and it's about um like a young guy who finds out that his mom died, she was killed, and then he has the ability to time travel, so he time travels back 18 years to prevent his mother's death and also prevent the death of 3 of his classmates who died, like, way back when he was in 5th grade. So, yeah, Erased, go watch that show on Netflix. It's, was it originally an anime? It's from Japan, but, I love it. So yeah, Erased, Shizao, The PJs, Quantum Leap, Reba, and another show for the Black people. I'm gonna recommend it because there are so many great shows out here. This one's for the Black people. Go watch Eve, especially for the Black girls. Go watch Eve. So y'all know Eve, the rapper. Let Me Blow Your Mind. If I Was a Rich Girl with Gwen Stefani. Um, yes, she was a huge rapper way back in the early 2000s, and I'm a huge fan of hers. She actually has a book coming out later this year in September, and I pre-ordered the book because I'm a huge fan of hers, and I can't wait for this to come out. Eve, it better be good. Talk about Rough Riders, her record label. But yeah, her TV, she had her own sitcom called Eve, which was on UPN, which also gave us the likes of like the Parkers, Moesha, all these wonderful Black programs. Um, Eve, she has her own like design store, like her own clothing store with her 2 best friends called Diva Style. And oh my goodness, I love this show so much. Where is it streaming? On Tubi also. There's a lot of shows on Tubi y'all need to watch because Tubi has it. It has it. It has all the great shows. And also the man who plays her love interest, um, JT, he's fine. He fine. So yeah, go watch Eve, go watch Erased, go watch The PJs, Shizao, Quantum Leap, and Reba. How many shows is that? Eve, Erased, Quantum Leap, Shizao. Okay. And there's also, I know it's not Christmas time, like it's literally the beginning of July. It's the middle of summer. It's hot outside. People have a heat wave, 100 degrees. People are dying out here. It's too hot. But if you want to trick your mind to thinking that it's not the middle of July, It's not the middle of July. But if you wanna trick your mind into thinking that it's not July 6th and it's not burning hot outside and you're not gonna sweat if you take one step out your door, um, you guys can watch a Christmas movie that I'm gonna recommend. So the movie is called, Christmas Karen. Oh my goodness, sorry. You guys are leaving comments. I didn't even I was just talking so much that I was like, oh my goodness. I was just like talking like so much that I forgot that you guys were leaving comments. So, hey, music lover KB. Hey, Olivia Clark. Um, no, I haven't watched Bridgestone. Is it new? I should watch it, right? Tell me a little bit about the plot. Okay, yeah. I know it has been a long time since I've gone live. I really should do this more often. Y'all deserve it. You do. You guys are wonderful. Yeah, Reba is actually I've always known about the show and I've always known about who Reba was. She's a popular country singer and she has been for like many decades now. And I just decided to give her show a chance one day and I was like really, really surprised, impressed by it. It also takes place in Houston, which lived in Houston for 5 years from 2014 to 2019, and I didn't know like, the idea people have of Texas and, like, the thick accent, like, the country accent, like, "Hey, y'all, it's Texas." That doesn't really happen, like, at least not where I was living in Houston. Um, the accent wasn't that thick. Okay, hi, Aniru. Thank you for joining us. What did I talk about so far? Right now, I'm just talking about shows and movies that I'm recommending for people to watch in case you're bored or ever want something to do. 'Cause, you all know growing up in school, they're always like, "Hey, this is our summer reading list, and you guys need to make sure you read this book and this book and this book." I'm like, "Nah, nah. For the summer, Imma make sure that y'all watch this show and this show and this movie and this movie." Um, I mean, books are nice and everything, but I just feel like people are more inclined to watch shows and movies than read books. I just feel like that's the way we are as a society. I mean, even I love books and I used to read books all the time, but now I just listen to them on Audible. So, yeah, not sponsored. I was almost sponsored actually. Like I checked my email and I got like a thing from somebody wanting me to like sponsor them, like wanting to sponsor me, but I was like, nah, it's weird. Okay, so what shows and stuff did I recommend so far? I recommended Reba, I recommended Quantum Leap, I recommended Shizao, The PJs, Eve, um, Erased, and I wanted to recommend A Christmas Karen, yes. So last Christmas I was on, is it a Lifetime movie? I don't know. Okay, it came out in 2022, and it's about a woman named Karen, and she's basically based on the whole meme of Karens, like, "I'm gonna speak to your manager if you don't do this and this and this and this." Um, but yeah, that movie was funny. It was just like completely making fun of the whole like Karen persona, and y'all should go watch that too. It's also free on, oh, it's free everywhere. Look at this. Wow. It's free on Tubi, it's free on Pluto TV, Peacock, Sling TV, the Roku channel, Crackle, Amazon Prime Video, Plex, um, and Xumo Play. Okay, y'all know, like, even though I really like this movie, y'all know low key that once a movie is like free to watch everywhere, you know that nobody's making any money off of that. Shade? No shade. Okay. Okay, just I need to read your comments. Okay, in May you watched Geek Charming for the first time and you're aware of what Matt did and it's really good. Yes. So you're actually very, very strong because you're able to like separate the art from the artist. Because there's a lot of like shows and movies and music and content out there where like the person who made it or the person or people are in it who are in it have like done something bad in their real life. However, the thing that they created is just like so good. And yes, Geek Charming is a wonderful movie. It's a cute movie. I love the movie. I haven't seen it in years and I do remember like the plot and I watched it all the time. And it's basically like to me it's pretty like standard a standard Disney movie at the time. I put it in the same league as stuff like Radio Rebel and what's that other movie Debbie Ryan did with the candle 16 Wishes. Yeah, Debbie Ryan. I actually saw like a movie from Debbie Ryan not too long ago where she was like surfing. She is such a fun time. Okay, it's a 2010 decom that was lighthearted. Oh yeah, yeah. Have I seen the Descendants movies? And if I have, what's my ranking? And I'm gonna watch the new one. So yes, I have seen the Descendants movies. Not all of them. I've only seen the first two. Um, the third one came out in 2019. Um, just barely a month after Cameron Boyce tragically passed away. And you know, I really did like him. I loved him in Jesse. He even had his own TV show on Disney XD, which got canceled like pretty quickly. I think it only had 2 seasons. But yeah, it was just sad to see him go. And I feel like because of that, it was very hard for me to watch anything from Descendants after that. But strangely enough, I can go back and I can watch Jesse at any time without any issues, but I don't really go back and watch Descendants. Not because of that, but also because like I'm not a big movie person. Like in general, like I've always loved TV shows more than movies. That's just how I am. But anyways, to answer your question, I watched the first two Descendants movies. I haven't watched the third one. Are they on number 4 or 5? I don't know, but I probably don't plan on watching it. I could one day because you know me, sometimes I'll give something a try just for the heck of it. But I watched the first two, so those are the only ones I can rank. Between them, I think the first one has I feel like the first one is better. Yeah, I like the first one better because I was younger when it came out, and also I remember the songs from the first one a lot more and the storyline from the first one a lot more. And the first one felt fresh and everything, and the second one, like, they had China Anne McClain in it, which we love China, but they made her, like, evil and everything, and I didn't like that. Why, like, one of the only black girls had gotta be, like, the evil villain. Anyways, oh, yeah, separating art from the artist is Harry Potter. J is it J.K. Rowling? Yes, we know who I know what you're talking about. I know exactly, all the stuff she's been saying. Like, I actually do know, even though I don't watch Harry Potter or read Harry Potter, she said, like, a bunch of, like, transphobic stuff, right? Not cool, girl. Especially, like, I feel like the Harry Potter audience would be a very, like, broad audience of people, like, of all different backgrounds. So, yeah, it's just not nice to, like, you know, attack people. Okay. Oh, you like my ranking videos where I rank like episodes of seasons? Yeah, I did one recently, season 2 of That's So Raven. So underrated. That show, not the show, season 2 of the show is so underrated. And it's actually a very, very strange case in my opinion because like I've seen so many Disney and Nickelodeon shows to the point where like I've studied the patterns of the shows and everything. And from what I've seen, like a lot of them have 4 seasons or at least are designed to have only 4 seasons. Um, and a lot of the times, season 2 ends up being the best season of the show, and then it's season 3, and then either season 1 or season 4, depending on the show. But with That's So Raven, season 2 was the best season, and usually that's when the show gets its most popular. But for some reason, season 3 ended up being the most popular season of the show. But, like, when you look at any other show on Disney or Nickelodeon, like, season 2 of Hannah Montana, that's the one that everybody says is the best and is the most popular. Season 2 of Wizards, that's the one everybody says is the best and the most popular. Um, all these shows. So, yeah, oh, I have to get back to your question. I keep rambling. Um, yeah, I should make more, I do plan on making more ranking videos. I actually wanted to rank season 4 of That's a Raven because when I go back and watch That's a Raven, when I usually watch like season 3 or season 4, even though I said season 2 is the best. I usually watch season 3 or 4 because watching Raven Simone grow as an actress from the first season all the way to the 4th season is it's honestly remarkable. She is so talented. She is such a talented actress. She is so funny. Um, and she gets funnier with each season. By season 4, like you can't even breathe. Okay. Oh, I love Raven. Have for many years. Okay. Let me pay attention to your comments. Okay. Okay, you skipped out on Geek Charming initially because you're more into the Sweet Life movie and Lemonade Mouth. Yeah, we all know Lemonade Mouth. Everybody, that's like a cult classic now because everybody like that movie is held in high regards. I also hold it in high regards. And did you guys know that the soundtrack for Lemonade Mouth is actually available on vinyl now? And I actually do want to get it. It's available through Urban Outfitters, and I do plan on getting it because I actually have a vinyl record player. It's actually sitting in my room right now, and I can listen to like all of my favorite music from my favorite artists on vinyl. And I actually saw that a bunch of Shake It Up, like not Shake It Up, a bunch of Disney soundtracks are available on vinyl now. The first, the Shake It Up soundtrack for the first season that's available on vinyl now. The soundtrack for the first season of Austin and Ally that's available on vinyl now. The soundtrack for Lemonade Mouth that's on vinyl. There's also Teen Beach Movie, the first one, I believe, that's on vinyl. There's a whole bunch of stuff that are available on vinyl now, and a lot of it is through Urban Outfitters. Okay, let me see. Oh, yeah, and I also watched the Sweet Life movie, last summer. I've seen it before, but it's been years. Um, I thought it was okay. Personally, I just felt like that show didn't really need a movie. It felt like it was alright, but it just felt unnecessary in my opinion. Do I plan on making more episodes rank videos? Yeah, yeah. I just talked about that. Um, That's So Raven season 4 is most likely the next one I'm gonna do. And then I'll try to do because it's harder to do Nickelodeon stuff like that, like episodes ranked, because Nickelodeon is a lot more strict with their content, like, and what you can use and can't use, which is a big reason why I tend to make more videos about Disney stuff than Nickelodeon stuff. Um, because Nickelodeon is Disney is a lot more, like, willing to let you use their content than Nickelodeon is, which is surprising to me because 'cause you'd think that Disney would be more strict. But anyways, that's not the case. Okay, Bridgerton is a show that takes place in the 1800s, and it follows different characters during this time. It's like Pride and Prejudice mixed with Gossip Girl. Ooh. It has 3 seasons so far on Netflix. Oh, but I have to see, like, is this a new show or an older show? Okay, Bridget, because if it's, like, an older show, then I can watch, like, every single episode from beginning to end. Oh, it's newer, okay, so I can keep up with it as it goes on. But yeah, I love this. You guys are giving me stuff to recommend, and I can also give you stuff to recommend. It's like, we're a team, we're cooperating. I love it. Okay, am I a Swiftie? Um, we were talking about music and vinyls, so you thought about her. I actually do like Taylor Swift. I'm a fan, but I don't know if I'm a super fan. When it comes to pop stars, I am a fan of a lot of them, but super fans, I think the only ones who I'm a super fan of are like Rihanna and Miley Cyrus. Those are my 2 favorite musicians, like, ever. Miley Cyrus is my 2nd favorite, and Rihanna is my favorite. I actually have since I told you guys have a vinyl record player and collect vinyls, I have 6 Rihanna vinyl albums in my drawer, and I have 2 Miley Cyrus ones. I wanted to get Can't Be Tamed, but, like, that was available for a limited time on Urban Outfitters, and I didn't get it in time. They say a limited time, they're not kidding, okay? You better get it, girl, before, like, they run out. But yeah, I do like Taylor Swift. My favorite album of hers is probably Speak Now. I'm a Speak Now fan, just for the simple fact that that's the only, well, not now, because I think it's different now, but for a long time, that was the only album that she wrote entirely by herself. And the whole thing about Taylor is that she writes her music. It's like a diary for her. So yeah, I should do a Sweet Life ranking next. Your personal favorite Disney show. The Sweet Life on Deck or Zach and Cody? Because I do watch The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody a lot more than I watch The Sweet Life on Deck. Even though The Sweet Life on Deck was actually on during the time where I was like, oh my gosh, airplane. Please go away. I know I live next to an airport, but please. Okay, it's going away, so I can talk again. All right, The Sweet Life on Deck. Yeah, The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. So yeah, I've always loved The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Um, I actually want to tell you guys a story. So as a child, I never really got in trouble a lot. Um, I was pretty much a good kid for the most part. However, one time, the one and only time I ever got, I don't know if it's grounded, but I had my iPad taken away from me for a week because I was in the living room watching The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody on Netflix way back when, before Disney Plus, before any of, well, not before any of these streaming services. This was probably like 2014, and I was like 11 years old. I was watching The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody on Netflix on my iPad, and my mom was calling me from the kitchen, and I was like, I didn't hear her because I was too invested in the show, and then she got upset, and then she took away my iPad, and she said, "I'm gonna take it away for a week." And I was like, "Fine, whatever, I'm just gonna watch TV." And then a few days later, she needed help with something, and then she was like, "Use your iPad to help me." And I was like, "But you took it away, I can't use it." And then she was like, forget it, I'm not." here, you can have it back. So I'm like, why'd you even take it away in the first place? Anyways, but yeah, I love The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. I should talk about it more often. I did talk about it like I remember I did make a video about the sweet life of Zach and Cody, or more so just about like Zach and Cody, the characters, and the whole like twin dynamic between them. Because I actually think it's weird that a lot of media has twins like, oh, this one's the good one, this one's the bad one, this is the rebellious one, this one's the nerdy one, or whatever, this is the cool one. And I don't really think that a lot of twins are like that. Like they're twins. The whole thing is that they're similar. So wouldn't like in real life, most twins, like I look at them, I can't tell them apart anyways, because they're like, isn't that the whole point of being a twin? Any like why do they always try to make twins like so like completely opposites when in real life they're pretty similar? Okay, have I watched Moesha with Brandy? Girl. Okay. Don't take away my black card, people. Please don't. I love I love Brandy. Brandy Norwood is so talented. She's an amazing person, wonderful singer, wonderful actress. I love Brandy as a person. I love her whole personality. Um, I've probably seen Moesha like once or twice. I've always wanted to watch it, but I just never got around to it. But funny enough, the spin-off series of Moesha, The Parkers, that like I've seen like every single episode of that a million times over. So I know Professor Ogilvy, I know Kim, Nikki Parker. Yeah, hey, Professor. But yeah, I haven't seen Moesha, but I do also know that Cheryl Lee Ralph, who was also another fantastic actress and singer and amazing talent. Cheryl Lee Ralph. That woman is so talented. She was also an instant mom, and I made a whole video about that, and people really seem to like it. 'Cause, that's something I do. Oh, here's a tip for you guys if you're ever, like, starting a channel or anything. Talk about, pick a niche that's popular, of course, but also pick something that nobody else in that demographic is talking about. Like, I saw nobody did an Instant Mom video, and then I made one about Instant Mom, and then a lot of people watched it and loved it, and great. I also made a video, like, comparing and contrasting Jessie and Fran from The Nanny because 'cause they're both nannies, and I made a whole video titled Nanny versus Nanny, and people like that too, so just think out of the box and, do stuff that people don't normally do, and it'll catch on. Okay, if I plan on ranking more Hannah Montana episodes, would I rank season 2 or 3 next? Probably season 3, because season 3 is my favorite season of Hannah Montana, although it would be easier to do season 2 just because it has less episodes, but only by, like, 1 or 2, because 'cause they're both pretty long seasons anyways. Um, okay. So, among the live action Disney shows that came out between 2010 and 2019, why do I think Good Luck Charlie was the only one to get its own movie? I don't know. I feel like Disney, they don't like to gamble with their projects. Like, if a show shows that it has promise, then they'll do more with it. If a show shows that it doesn't have as much promise, then they won't do as much with it. Um, the other day, I was actually like writing a script because I'm gonna make a new video pretty soon. And, like, I already have, like, the whole script and everything prepared, I just have to film it, which I plan on doing tomorrow. Cause I like to film during the daytime where the sun is, like, out and it, like the natural light looks better than this light in my room. That's the main reason why I like to film during the daytime, and, but anyways, during my video, I was talking a little bit about shows Disney shows from the 2010s, and I do think out of all those shows, the most popular one in terms of, like, ratings, um, because people can argue all the time, like, "Oh, this was the best, and this was the best. No, this was the best." But, like, you can't numbers don't lie. So, in terms of ratings, especially from, like, the early 2010s, the most popular shows on that time well, you also have to understand that, like, during that time, an era of Disney was ending, like, the Miley Cyruses, Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, Jonas, the Sprouse Twins, all of those people and their projects on Disney, like, they and also the High School Musical kids from, like, the late 2000s and early, like I'd say, like, from 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, those years, that's when Disney was at its peak, like, commercially, like, getting the most viewers, getting the most money, creating the most superstars, and I don't really think you can argue with that just in terms of, like, popularity, which numbers don't lie again. Because you can argue any day about which era of Disney was the best. That one, whether or not it was the best, it's up for debate. However, it was the most popular. So, yeah, the from, like, 2007-ish to 2010, and then around 2011, that's when a new era of Disney started, and that's when we got shows like Jessie, Austin and Ally, Shake It Up, Ant Farm, and Good Luck Charlie, and this was actually the era of Disney where I was, like, old enough to actually be aware of what I was watching. Because if you don't know, I was born in 2002, so around 2010, 2011, I was 8 years old, and, like, all the other shows, like, I had just caught, like, the tail end of Wizards of Waverly Place, so I was watching, like, basically season 4. The other seasons would show on reruns and stuff, but, like, that's basically what I was watching, um, and then all the other shows before, like, That's the Raven, Hannah Montana, all the shows you guys know me for, like, loving and talking about, I watched those, like, later on as I grew up, like, as I got older, like 12, 13, 14, I went back to older Disney and watched those older shows. But back to what I was saying, and back to your question about, like, Good Luck Charlie and the whole, like, why it was the only one to get its movie. During that time where, like, that other era of Disney, the peak was ending and a whole new era was starting, Good Luck Charlie was one of the shows that showed the most promise at the time, and you could see it, like, they put more money into the shows that showed more promise. Like, Good Luck Charlie, you saw how big that house was, right? Like, Teddy had a whole basement room, there was and also, like, the show got, like, a pretty substantial viewership, it was pretty high, um some of their most popular episodes got over 7 million viewers, which is incredible for Disney at the time because most of their shows, like an average episode would get about 3 million viewers. 4 million if like it's a good episode, like it's a 4 million is good, 5 million is great, and anything above 5 million is like exceptional. And I was looking at the sets, like, look at the set of Shake It Up. They got a whole dance studio. You saw how much money they put into that? And they got a whole special, like, made in Japan. Um, what else? Austin Alley, they got a whole, like, music studio. Jessie, they got a whole, like, penthouse. And then Ant Farm, that was a show that didn't get as much money put into it as those other shows. Because, like I said, it didn't show as much promise as those other shows. 'Cause, like, it was popular, but it wasn't as popular as those other shows, and Good Luck Charlie was because of the show and how it's about, like, a whole family and different types of people in the family, like the little sister, the teenage sister, the mother, the father, the show had such a wide audience, which drew in such, like, large numbers, I guess, or drew in, like, a wider audience than most of their other shows. So I feel like that's why Disney, like, was willing to throw in a movie for them. And other shows at the time that were also popular, like I mentioned, Jessie and Austin and Ally and Shake It Up, they did have money put into it. They weren't like other Disney shows like Ant Farm and stuff. But I feel like the reason they didn't get as much love shown to them is because of this type of show that they weren't able to gather like a bigger audience. Because I feel like if you sat down and watched like wanted to watch a show with your whole family, like, your aunts and your uncles who are like in their 20s, 30s and stuff, would they want to watch Shake It Up? Would they want to watch Ant Farm? Would they want to watch Austin and Ally? Or would they want to watch Good Luck Charlie? Maybe it's just because Good Luck Charlie is better than the other shows at the time. But I don't know. But later on in the decade, I don't know why other shows didn't get movies. Maybe Disney was just like, "You know what? Forget it. Our viewerships is going down. Why invest in a movie for our shows? Nobody's even watching our shows or our movies." I don't know. I hope that answered your question. I tend to, like, ramble and, like, completely miss the point and, like, just try to connect the dots for me. Okay, I need to pay attention to the, your comments, people. Okay, do I miss the old "You're watching Disney Channel." Wanda okay. Oh, like the bumpers? I mean, I guess, but nowadays, like, with streaming and everything, nobody, like, really cares, I guess, because 'cause we're just watching the shows and movies that we used to watch anyways, without, like, the bumpers and commercials. But yeah, it was sweet. I also remember I missed the, Wand IDs where is that what you were talking about? The Wand IDs where people were like, "Hi, I'm Raven Simone from That's So Raven, and you're watching Disney Channel. Do 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 do." Who do you think had the sorry. Ah, this happens when I talk for too long. So, who do you think had the best Wand ID? I, um, I really liked Selena Gomez's. I really liked China Anne McClain's where she was, like, playing the violin with a thing, and then, I remember Kim Possible had her own. She didn't even say anything, she was just, like, drawing it. But, Selena Gomez, she just clapped no, she was like, "Hello," and then the wand appeared, and she was like, "Ah," and she grabbed it. That girl is just such a wonderful actress. I love Selena Gomez. Um, didn't Tia and Tamara have one? Because they were associated with Disney for a while because of, like, Twitches and everything. Okay. Hey, Amelia. Um, I don't know how to feel I wonder the Wizards reboot is coming out in the fall, right? So we'll just have to, like, wait for that. What's my favorite movie based on a Disney or Nick show? My favorite movie based on a Disney show is obviously Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie. Did y'all know that That's So Raven, it was supposed to get sorry. I just drank, like, a lot of lemonade, so I'm a little gassy. Excuse me if I burp. I'll try to hide it, I'll try to be civil. But anyways, back in the day, I think in, like, 2007 or something, That's So Raven was supposed to get a movie, um, based off of the show. And I feel like it should have gotten one because, 1, the show was so popular and revolutionary and groundbreaking, but 2, also because, like, That's a Raven didn't really have a finale. It just ended on a random episode where, um, Corey where Raven thought that Corey was smoking, but he wasn't. I actually recently watched that episode, or rewatched that episode, should I say. I should say. I did say. But, yeah, I really would have loved for That's So Raven to get a movie back in the day. I feel like the movie could have, like, given us a proper finale to That's So Raven before it came back in the form of Corey's House, which was also canceled before its time, but then it came back in the form of Raven's Home, and then that was also canceled very recently, might I add. Okay. Alright, Good Luck Charlie is obviously higher quality, and by the way, if I look at the shows from the 2000s, 5 of them got movies and 2 of those were theatrical. Lizzie and Hannah, yes. Okay, what were the 5 shows that got movies? Lizzie McGuire, Hannah Montana, Even Stevens, Wizards of Waverly Place. I'm blanking on the 5th one that got a movie from, the 2000s. Lilo and Stitch? Maybe. No, The Proud Family! And also Kim Possible too. So the Drama. Okay, yeah, you were talking about the Wand ID. Um, okay, you said the best one is either Raven or Miley Cyrus. Most Disney stars had them. They did. That's such a landmark as a Disney star that I feel like that's when you know you've made it. Like, I am on Disney Channel. Do 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 do. Um, they ain't showing them no more. But we can always go back and watch them like on YouTube and stuff. Thank goodness we have like the ability to stream whatever we want whenever we want. Um, okay. You feel like if That's a Raven had gotten a movie, it would be one of the most popular Disney movies for sure, for sure. You feel like it'd be like the Cheetah Girls 2 with her going to Europe or the okay, oh, the episode that was part of the, oh, yeah, 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 you're right. The episode that was part of the That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana, that is the last episode that they did film for That's a Raven, because it has the production code 422, and that's, the last episode, and they had 22 episodes that they filmed in season 4, so, yeah. You're right, you're right. What was I about to say? Oh, yeah, let's talk about the Cheetah Girls, okay? That's one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. So, yeah, because I had, like, a few, like, lists of stuff I wanted to talk about in this live stream. One of them was, like, the shows I wanted to recommend to you, so I got that out the way. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about was the Cheetah Girls. So, so around this time last month, I went back not went back because I haven't so I have never seen the Cheetah Girls. I know, yes, jaw dropping on the floor. Y'all are in shock. Y'all are traumatized. I'm sorry. I have never seen the Cheetah Girls. I was never a fan of the Cheetah Girls. I never cared for the Cheetah Girls. I never liked the Cheetah Girls. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Which and but the thing is, I'm actually surprised that I was never a fan of the Cheetah Girls. I know, I know. I'm actually surprised that I was never a fan of the Cheetah Girls because I y'all know how much I love Disney, right? But I also love girl groups. Destiny's Child is my favorite girl group of all time. Love Beyonce, Kelly Michelle, even the original lineup with Farrah, not Farrah, with Latavia and Latoya, and then Farrah joined briefly. And I also love Fifth Harmony too. Little Mix, I think they're cool. TLC, cool. And Vogue, cool. I love girl groups, and I always have, but I was never a fan of Cheetah Girls, the Cheetah Girls. And I think the main reason is because it was their whole thing was based on the Cheetah Girls movies. And I personally never liked like y'all know I do talk about movies sometimes on my channel, but I primarily talk about TV shows, like especially Disney, Nickelodeon stuff, because I love television. I love TV a lot more than I love movies. Even though I do like movies, I love movies, but I love television. Like y'all don't understand. So, like, I would rather watch That's So Raven any day over The Cheetah Girls. I'd rather watch Hannah Montana any day over High School Musical. I'd rather watch Wizards of Waverly Place any day over Camp Rock, because I just love television way more than I love movies, and I always have, and I probably always will. I say probably because, people can change, but anyways, back to what I was saying. So recently I went back, not went back. I decided to give the Cheetah Girls a chance and I watched all 3 movies. I did this last month in June. I watched the first Cheetah Girls movie, I watched the second Cheetah Girls movie, which took place in Spain, Barcelona, and then I watched the third Cheetah Girls movie, which takes place in India. And one of the main reasons why I wanted to give it a chance in the first place is because it had Raven Simone in it, and it also had Adrienne Bailon, and I love them both as actresses. Y'all know how much I love That's a Raven and Raven Simone. I think she's wonderful, and I also love Adrienne Bailon. She's such a great singer and actress, and her playing Alana, she the best mean girl on Disney ever. Alana, Adrienne Bailon, please. Please. What other mean girl is gonna come and, like, curse you out in Spanish? Please. Is Gigi from Wizards of Waverly Place doing that? Please. Are Amber and Ashley doing that? I mean, Amber could probably curse you out using Ebonics, but would Miley understand? No. Anyways, yeah, I decided to give the Cheetah Girls a chance. I watched all 3 movies, and I will say, out of all 3 of them, my favorite is actually the 3rd one, the one that takes place in India, and it's also the one that does not have Raven Simone in it. And it's my favorite for 2 reasons. The first is because, like, in the 3rd movie, the girls are older, their parents are not there, and it's just them traveling to India by themselves. And 2, like I said, Raven Simone was not in it. And even though I love Raven Simone, and I can go on and on about how much I love Raven Simone as an actress, in my opinion, invites a very juvenile feeling. It's hard to describe, but I could never picture Raven in, like, CSI or NCIS or anything. Like, I could only ever picture her on Disney in front of a young audience. You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to picture her doing anything for, like, an adult audience or even a PG-13 audience, even though we know Raven is so talented and, she's a whole adult now, and she's married. What's her wife's name? I don't know, but she's married, but yeah, Raven just invites a very, very youthful energy, which is great. It works well on That's So Raven, and it works well on the Cheetah Girls too, but, like, in the last movie where they're, like, supposed to be grown and going on their own, I feel like Raven's presence would have made it feel like a younger movie, you know what I mean? Like, do y'all know what I mean? Because Raven is so, like, childish is not the right word, but she's just so youthful. I'm not trying to drag her. We love Raven. She's a queen. But I do love the music from the Cheetah Girls. And yeah, I do know that the Cheetah Girls were, let me see. Um yeah, the Cheetah Girls, I knew they were a book series and they're actually based on Destiny's Child, which I know, the best girl group of all time. And Solange was also supposed to be a member of the Cheetah Girls, but they swapped her out last minute because they wanted to like rush her debut album, so she had to drop out of the Cheetah Girls project. And the Cheetah Girls, like the whole thing, somebody who was an executive producer was the Whitney Houston. So of course it was going to be great. However, I just feel like if I had watched it when I was younger, then maybe I would have gravitated towards it a lot more because also I don't feel like the first movie was good, but I just feel like it was just them like, "Oh, let's sing at our talent show." And then, "Oh, a music producer came and discovered us." And then, "Girl power." But they sang the Cinderella song, which is like that song was stuck in my head for so long. I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the songs that I, like, bookmarked, I guess. The Cheetah Sisters and Cinderella from the first movie. Strut actually, before I went back and, like, watched the Cheetah Girls, one of the first things there were only 2 things that I knew about the Cheetah Girls before I, like, went in and watched it. I knew that, Raven Simone and Adrienne Bailon were in it, and I also knew the song Strut. That's it, that's all I knew. So, when I watched it also, when I watched the second movie, which I feel like, diehard fans of the Cheetah Girls would probably say that the second movie is the best. However, that's the one when they went to Spain. I just feel like the Cheetah Girls don't really blend well with, like, Latino Spanish culture. Amigas Cheetahs? What was that? But when they were in Spain and they were singing Strut, they were, like, strutting down the walkway and, like, singing at the same time, and if you watch Raven and her energy, like, this is what I mean when I say she's very, very youthful. It's not a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing either. It's just it's very distracting. It's very obvious, and it's like you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, like, say you know what I mean. Like, don't do not like, Raven, she's a wonderful actress, but she's so youthful, which works wonderful on Disney because that's the whole Disney thing, but I you have to understand that I went into Cheetah Girls watching it as for the first time ever as a 21-year-old. So, yeah, it would have been a lot different if I had, like, grown up watching it as, like, a 9-year-old. But I did like a lot of the songs from the 3rd movie, even though I can't remember any of the songs. I need to pay attention. Okay, I should do Drake and Josh episodes from each season. Maybe season 4 because I feel like that's the best season of Drake and Josh. Okay, um, you dislike the 3rd movie because it honestly mistreats India, which is your nationality. You know what? And you have every right to dislike the 3rd movie because of that, because that's your culture, that's India, and, because 'cause I'm not Indian, I can't speak for Indian people, so maybe it had, like, offensive stuff for Indian for the Indian culture and didn't show you guys in the best light, and I'm so sorry that, like, that happens a lot in media. I actually feel that, like, about, a lot of different cultures too. I feel like they get misrepresented because the people creating it are not, like, from that culture, they didn't grow up with that culture, so they don't understand, like, the details of everything that they do and how it affects, like, Indian people either positively or negatively. And that's how I feel about, like, the second movie where they went to Spain. And also, this is another thing about the Cheetah Girls in general. So, here's something about me that you guys probably don't know. I don't like animal print anything. I feel like animal print is very, very tacky. Tacky is not the word I wanna use. I wanna use a different word. Um, Ghetto. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like animal print, but I think it's really ghetto, especially, like, and the worst animal print for me, the one that I think looks the worst is cheetah print. And what did the cheetah girls always gotta wear? What animal print do you think the cheetah girls always gotta have on? It's not zebra print, it's not leopard print, it's cheetah. Cheetah, cheetah everywhere. Cheetah-licious. Do they have a song called Cheetah-licious? Or is that, that's just Fergie, Fergalicious. Okay, let me see. I have to pay attention to your comments. Step Up is your favorite Cheetah Girls song. Which one is that from? Is that from the second one or the third one? Oh, the second one. For some reason, like the first movie, because I was trying to film a video of me like reacting to watching Cheetah Girls for the first time ever. Sorry. But like it just didn't work out with the technology that I currently have. Also, it was very, very hard for me to like talk about it. Just because like g- I'm sorry. It's just like I wish somebody had like shown this to me when I was a lot younger. Cause now I'm just like I also expected the Cheetah Girls to be a lot more like established in their universe. I thought they were already like superstars like in their universes. But in their universe, in all 3 movies, it's just about them trying to reach their big break. Like, they actually haven't gotten it yet. And I thought they were already, like, superstars in their universe. Like, they were already world-renowned superstars, and then we'd follow the adventures from that. Honestly, I think that might have made a more interesting movie. Do you guys think that would've? If the Cheetah Girls were, like, already, like, a famous girl group, like Destiny's Child, who they were based on. And then it was just, like, issues and stuff that arised with that whole dynamic. I don't know, I think it would be interesting. Okay, you're glad you watched them, and while okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys would agree the second Cheetah Girls movie is the best. I just like the third one because they were, like, grown, and, also Raven wasn't in it, and I love Raven, y'all know that, but she's just so like, I don't wanna say anything mean about Raven-Symoné, but it felt like 3 girls in their 20s trying to discover India alone for the first time without their parents, and then, like, if you had brought Raven, it's like them having to bring their little sister with them. You know what I mean? That's how I felt like Raven was a lot of the times, like, with the Cheetah Girls. I don't know, it's weird. Okay, anyways, how long do y'all wanna go? I hope I'm not keeping you guys from doing, like, anything busy on a Saturday night. But yeah, let's go on to the, like, music from the Cheetah Girls. My favorite music is, well, my favorite song, Cinderella and Cheetah Girls, and I know Cinderella's a cover, it's not an original. From the second one, it's Strut. Yeah, it's just Strut. Maybe Dance With Me too. Juicy Lee is such a good singer. And then, what is it? Cheetah Girls 2, and the third Cheetah Girls movie, I remember liking the songs very much, but I can't remember any of the songs, like, for real. But yeah, let's talk about more soundtracks. What you guys like? Um, ooh, sorry, I gotta stretch out my legs. I've been sitting crisscross applesauce for like over an hour now. My knee feels stuck. Um, y'all want me to check like Urban Outfitters to see what else they have on vinyl? Do you guys also collect vinyls or have a vinyl record player or know someone with one? I know someone with one, and it's me. Okay, Disney soundtracks. I wish I could show you guys like my screen, like screen record as I'm. Oh my gosh, they have the That's So Raven soundtrack on vinyl at Urban Outfitters. Okay, let me see. Do they have Some Call It Magic on here? I don't know, because this looks like season 2 Raven, and Some Call It Magic came out, like, during the season 4 cycle. What? Somebody said, "No, I don't recommend this product." Where is the Ashley Tisdale album? I mean, I love Ashley too, but I don't know, like I don't know that much about her music, which is a shame. I love Ashley Tisdale. Was Maddie your favorite character on The Sweet Life? I'm sad they got rid of her. Actually, London Tipton was our favorite. London, London, London. That's an inside joke between my cousin and I. Fergie, Fergie. Y'all, Fergie is such a fun time. It's not letting me like see the oh wait. Okay, got it. Cause I was like, it wasn't letting me see the track list for the soundtrack, but now it is. Cause I want to see what songs are on here. Okay, they have Shine from the which was featured in like the music episode of That's a Raven, which I did talk about in my ranking for season 2 episodes of That's a Raven. So go check that out. Um, they also have Supernatural. Was that from That's a Raven? I'm Every Woman by Shaka Khan. Why is that on here? I'm like, okay, that's a wonderful song. I love Shaka Khan, but that song, what does that have to do with That's a Raven? Also, this brings me to the whole thing about what I said about like Raven being so youthful. I saw her on like she was doing an interview on some talk show. Maybe it was a talk show that she was on because she was on a talk show eventually at some point in her career. And 50 Cent was sitting next to her. And I was like, Raven Simone sitting next to 50 Cent. What kind of it's very bizarre. I just think it's because Raven wasn't really able to shed the Disney image like completely. Maybe that's why I feel like she's so youthful. But yeah, this soundtrack only has one song that was featured in the That's So Raven like TV show throughout all of its 100 episodes, and that's Shine. And then all of this is just like a whole bunch of random. They have a Lindsay Lohan song from the Freaky Friday soundtrack, which Freaky Friday is coming back. They're getting a reboot. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. Okay. Urban Outfitter exclusive. Okay, Austin and Ally soundtrack, Lemonade Mouth soundtrack. Oh my gosh, hang on. I should pay attention to your comments too, yeah. Okay. Oh, you say the third Cheetah Girls movie is dead last. The second Cheetah Girls is in the middle, and the first Cheetah Girls movie was the best. You can't beat the original. All right, the whole soundtrack for the second Cheetah Girls movie slays. Um, Strut, Step Up, The Party's Just Begun, Amigas Cheetahs, La The Spanish Lullaby. Oh, the one when she sang with, Adrian. Yo, Adrian has such a beautiful voice. It was so sad to hear how, like, she stopped singing for a very long time because she felt very, like, not confident with her singing voice, which is so sad because she actually does have a beautiful singing voice. She can sing, and, for her to feel like she had to be ashamed of it was and, like, stop singing for such a long time is so sad. We're Adrian fans over here. Remember when she was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians? Such a random time. What's my favorite Miley Cyrus album? Ooh. Okay, Disney or, like, post-Disney? We'll talk about, like okay, let me separate them. So, if we're talking about, like, her Disney albums, um, Meet Miley Cyrus, Breakout, The Time of Our Lives, and Can't Be Tamed, my favorite would either be Breakout or Can't Be no, not either. My favorite is Breakout. Yeah. Even though I love no. Is it Breakout or Can't Be Tamed? Okay, I'm having a hard time choosing between Breakout or Can't Be Tamed. The only reason I don't pick like, I would say Can't Be Tamed hands down, but the thing is Can't Be Tamed has like, half of the songs are beautiful, and Miley Cyrus's voice shines because she's such a terrific singer. However, the other half of the album is just, like, this overproduced mess. Very electronic, very, like, auto-tuned, which Miley Cyrus, of course, doesn't need, but I feel like they just did that just for the effect. Because like, at the time, Lady Gaga was everywhere, and, like, that whole dance pop vibe was it was in vogue, so everybody was doing it, and, yeah, if Can't Be Tamed didn't have all of that heavy production Rock Mafia. If it didn't have all of that heavy production, then Can't Be Tamed, hands down, would be my favorite Miley Cyrus album on Disney. But since Can't Be Tamed has all of that, Imma have to say that my favorite Miley Cyrus album from her time on Disney is Breakout. The Time of Our Lives is technically an EP. If it wasn't, then I'd say that. I mean, if it was longer, I'd say that. And Meet Miley Cyrus, she was 14. She was just beginning, so that's the reason why it's not that. So, yeah, Breakout is my favorite from her time on Disney. From her time after Disney, bangers, duh. Mm, oh my gosh, hang on. Sorry, I clicked on I'm still looking at, like, all of the how long do you guys wanna go for? Because I don't wanna keep y'all up, like, too late. Just so you guys know, I'm living in the East Coast, so right now it's 11 PM, 11:02. Um, you know, I'm in the same time zone as New York City and Miami and stuff. So, like, I don't know, probably some of you guys are in, like, LA and it's 8 PM and you guys are like, "We're in the West Coast, we just started our Saturday night. Look at you guys going to bed already." I will say that's the one thing about, like, you guys on the West Coast. You guys are probably, like on Saturday nights, this is the only time you guys can, like, brag about being 3 hours behind. But for the rest of the week, you know, we we get to, like, get out of work before you guys, get out of school before you guys, do all that stuff before you guys. We get to celebrate the New Year before you. Oh, they have the Descendants soundtrack. Is this the first one? Okay, let me check. Let me look at the track list. Queen of Mean. Oh, Chillin' Like a Villain. Okay. Rotten to the Core. Oh, so it's like from it's not just from one movie. It's I think it's from all of the Descendants movies. So yeah, oh, it's purple. Like, okay. Thank you. I was looking for like the scroll option because it's not like it wasn't letting me for the longest time. So yeah, I think right now they just have the Descendants soundtrack, the Lemonade Mouth soundtrack, the Austin and Ally, Shake It Up, and That's a Raven. Oh. I also saw that on Disney's website, the vinyl version of the Hannah Montana movie soundtrack is available. So if y'all want to listen to You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home and Crazier by Taylor Swift and the Hoedown Throwdown and The Climb and Dream and Let's Get Crazy and any other song from the Hannah Montana movie, the vinyl album, the vinyl version of that is out too. I think that's it in terms of like vinyl stuff. Okay, let me see. You're also on the East Coast. Okay, The Villains of Valley View. A lot of people like that. I think it's created by the same people who made Wizards of Waverly Place. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the alliteration is like a nod to Wizards. What since that show is coming back, do you think it probably would do a crossover with the Villains of Valley View, or do you think that show would end because the Wizards reboot is beginning? Although I did see like some of the people like Selena Gomez and I was about to say Demi Lovato, David Henry post like screenshots and stuff from working behind the scenes on set, and it looks like the show is going to be about Justin and his kids, and Selena said she's just going to like guest star in one episode and then leave. So I don't think she's going to be like a regular character cuz she's like a superstar. Okay, speaking of soundtracks, do I like the B5 version of Get Your Head in the Game? Okay, that took an already great song and made it even better. I should listen to that because I remember Get Your Head in the Game from High School Musical, but because High School Musical is a movie and not a show, y'all already know that I don't really like. I haven't watched it as much as I've seen Hannah Montana. What do I remember from? I do remember the song. I remember "The Boys Are Back" when Corbin Blue and Zac Efron, their characters, like they went underneath the car and then they turned into like younger versions of themselves. And I got traumatized because when you're a child, a lot of things scare you. Also, the second Halloween Town movie that messed me up. That was so scary to me. There are a lot of things that weren't even scary at all that I just thought were traumatizing. Um, the Halloween Town movie, the second one, the other ones were fine. It was just that second one scared me. Calabar's Revenge, and the whole town was gray. They lost their colors. Oh my gosh. Um, but yeah, High School Musical, that scene where they went underneath the car and they turned into like younger versions of themselves, that scared me. I thought that was scary. What else do I remember from High School Musical? I we're all in this together, breaking free. You know how many memes of like the breaking free, like we're soaring, we're flying, that one? Yeah, a lot of memes, a lot of good. Oh, what's that Sharpay song where she in? I think in the third one where she's like in that beautiful gown and she's like little flapper number. Y'all, Sharpay was like the best. Ashley Tisdale, they really okay. All right, speaking of Hannah Montana, last week you revisited 2 episodes from the first season, one of them being when Miley and Jackson pretended to be a couple. Ooh, Jacksana. You know what? As bad as that episode is, like, just in terms of, like, the whole plot line of making a brother and sister, like, pretend to be a couple, which, like, apparently is also, like, the whole plot line of Life with Derek, a whole 'nother show which I talked about. I made a whole video on that and, like, the whole incest thing, but, but, where was I going? Oh, yeah, yeah, Jacksana. So as bad as that whole thing is, like, even making an episode about that, what's worse is that in season 4, like, they mentioned it again. Like, making an episode like that, writing it, filming it no, writing it, rehearsing it, filming it no, writing it, rehearsing it, rehearsing it in front of the executives, and then filming it, and then editing it, and then airing it, and then letting that run in syndication for, many, many, many years was bad enough. However, talking about it again in season 4 when, Jackson had his new girlfriend, Sienna, who was, like, a model, and, she felt that Jackson was cheating on her with Hannah Montana 'cause she saw Miley walking in the house with the blonde hair, and she's like, "Hannah Montana, you're cheating on me with her, and don't play with me, I researched you. I know all about the Jacksana thing." I'm like, "Why would you even mention it again? One was enough. Once was enough. We don't need to know about it ever again." So, yeah, yeah. I don't know, I feel like I can go all night because I remember back when I started to do, live streams all the time, like, around the 2-hour mark, like, my voice would, like, just give up, but we're about to hit that, and I feel pretty strong. I mean, I feel a little nasally, but, like, my voice does not feel like it's about to give up. Doesn't feel like it's on its last legs. So, yeah, I can talk for a little while longer. Do you guys wanna try to go until midnight? Midnight for us on the East Coast. I don't know about everybody else, because we could close this off and it could be like 9 PM, unless you're, like, living in Hawaii or whatever, and what time is it in Hawaii? Aloha. Lilo and Stitch, did y'all like that show? 5:12. Wow. What is that, 6 hours behind? Y'all are really behind. Like, I know I say the people on the West Coast are behind, but the people in Hawaii, y'all are behind, behind. Whew. Like, it's almost midnight here, it's still the sun is still out there. I'd love to go to Hawaii one day. And you guys know how, like, a lot of shows and stuff, they, like, go visit Hawaii just because? What what is your favorite show or special that ever was, like, set in Hawaii? Well, I know there's, like, Lilo and Stitch. That I don't think that does that count? Fine, let's count that. Um, I do feel like Lilo and Stitch is probably the most, like, authentic, just because it's, like, the whole premise of the show is, like, Hawaiian culture and Hawaiian people, and the other shows and stuff is just, like, Amy Duncan getting cursed in Hawaii for whatever reason. Remember that episode when she, like, became a giant Oompa Loompa because she was allergic to, like, the oil? Lee Allen Baker was something else. I mean, yes, she was a terrible, like, human being, but an excellent character. And I actually think that's the way it is with, like, a lot of people, like, on, television and movies and stuff. They can be, like, terrible, terrible people, like, if you knew them in real life, they'd be awful people, but as, like, an entity in a show or a movie that we, like, observe, um, they're interesting to watch, and that's why people stan them, and also why, like, people make YouTube videos dragging these characters for their bad behavior, but everybody else, like, kind of lets them slide with it just because 'cause they're so entertaining. Okay, let me see, let me see, let me see. What are more Hannah Montana episodes that are bad/terrible? Oh, that episode in season 2 where Lily likes a boy, and then Miley tries to help Lily get the boy by giving Lily a complete makeover and pretty much shaming her for being a tomboy, just because Lily has never, like, subscribed to, like, the ideals of femininity. You know, she loves baggy clothes and skateboarding and, you know, that's just who she is. And Miley's like, "No, if you want this boy, you gotta start acting like a woman. You know, you gotta dress nice, act pretty, be cute to get him to like you." And I was like sending awful messages to your fan base of primarily young, impressionable girls, telling them that if they are more tomboyish, are, if they're not 100% like pure femininity, that it's bad. So, yeah, I didn't like that episode either. More bad episodes. I know a lot of people don't like season 4 in general. I didn't like the episode where Jake cheated on Miley. Um, I didn't think she deserved that, especially in season 4 after everything that she's been through with, like, the whole, like, being conflicted about leaving Lily and, like, everything that happened in the season 3 finale, like, where she was like, "Oh, I wanna, like, stay in I need more Tennessee in me, but I also don't wanna leave California. What do I do?" Oh, yeah, she did. I mean, she did get comeuppance for that. Miley was wrong. I do remember that. She got spaghetti, like, flung at her. I guess my least favorite episodes, or the ones I consider bad, are the ones where they show Miley in, like, a negative light, or where Miley acts like a monster. Do you remember the episode when in season 3 when she wanted, like, more money because she felt like she was growing up and more responsible, and then her dad gave her more money, and she was like, "No, I'm not gonna spend this." And she was, like, hoarding all of her money, she wouldn't buy anything, and then, she eventually, like, caved in once she saw, like, makeup, and she, like, turned into, like, a monster, and her voice got all deep, and she was like, "Miley's not here anymore." And she, like, was trying to, like, attack her friends. And then in season 4, when Miley, like, she would get mad and she'd give, like, her friends and family the death stare, and they'd be like, "Now calm." They'd tell the person that Miley is giving the death stare to, um I think this was in, like, the episode where the one I'm talking about right now is in the episode where Miley, like, reveals her secret to the world when she didn't get accepted to the college of her dreams and Lily did. She gave Lily the death stare, and Billy Ray was like, "Now, be calm, Lily. Don't make any sudden movements because she can sense your fear." Something like that. So yeah, basically a lot in the later seasons, Miley. There was also another episode in season 3 where Miley accidentally pushed her dance choreographer off of the second story and he like fell and crashed. No, she fell and crashed. The choreographer fell and crashed and broke like bones. And as she was sitting in like the hospital bed, Miley was like disturbing her, basically like, you gotta get up and get out because the new choreographer is like ruining everything. And she was just acting like a terrible person. Which I feel like with comedy, it's a very fine line between being funny and being like a bad person. Cause this happens a lot in TV shows, not just Disney and Nickelodeon, but TV shows in general, where somebody will be funny, but they'll do it by like being mean to somebody else. There's a way to be funny and be still be a nice and good person, which I think is the real challenge in like writing anything, any sort of comedy. But when you do it, those often tend to be like the funniest jokes in my opinion. Oh, the season 3 episode I described, it's let me see. The name of the episode, it was early in season 3, I remember that. Oh, season 3, episode 4, You Never Give Me My Money. So yeah, maybe I didn't describe it 100% accurately, but it's in that one. Ugh. Y'all, it is so hot in here. Usually I have my AC like blasting because like it's summer and it gets hot and I'm overheating and I have a bonnet on my head and heat escapes like from the top of your head and like it can't really do that because I have the bonnet on my head and I can't really take it off because I'm like filming a live stream and I don't want y'all to see my hair all like messed up. Um, and I can't turn on the AC because of, like, it's too loud and it makes too much noise, and you probably won't be able to hear me. Um, also, because like, I don't think, like, because I'm like I said before, I'm filming this live stream through my, like, computer camera, and, it's very because usually I use my microphone, like, my microphone over there, and I just, like, connect it, and you can hear my voice a lot clearer, but I didn't have the energy. Y'all, I just came back from like a long shift at work. So, yeah. What else do we want to talk about? Because like I had a whole list and I talked about like most of it. Okay, I'll talk about one thing. Um, you guys probably won't care, but I'll just give it a try. So, have y'all ever seen Everybody Hates Chris? And have you guys ever seen Lab Rats? Or have you guys ever seen what's that show? Instant Mom, which I did talk about earlier. So if you have, then you are either pretty familiar with the Williams brothers. The Williams brothers are, I need to get this right, Tyler James Williams, who played Chris on Everybody Hates Chris. And he also was in the movie Let It Shine. He starred as Cyrus. Funny that a Disney movie had a character named Cyrus when Disney also gave us Miley Cyrus. Anyways, um, and there's also Tyrell Jackson Williams, who was in Lab Rats. He played Leo Dooley. And then there's Tylen Jacob Williams, who was in um, Instant Mom, and he played James. really confusing. Tyler Jackson Williams, Tyler James Williams, Tyrell Jackson Williams, and Tylen Jacob Williams. All three brothers, all three different ages, and all three look identical. It's trippy. All three of them were actors. They caught the acting bug, and they're all really, really good. They're all really funny. Um, but I feel like Tyler, the oldest brother, is the most like known out of the three of them. Just because like Everybody Hates Chris was not like on Disney or Nickelodeon or anything. And a lot of shows that are not on these networks have a broader audience because it's not just appealing to like kids, it's appealing to everybody. And then he's also in the show, what's it called? It's I like it with Quinta Brunson, who I've been following since she was on BuzzFeed back in the day, and she had her own web series called Broke or something like that. Um, Abbott Elementary, yes. Quinta got her own show. I was so happy for her. Um, and Tyler is on that show too. But yeah, I just wanted to say that all three of the brothers are so they're so talented and they all look alike, and it's just really, really trippy to see. I just love it when siblings are together in the entertainment industry because it can be a very, very tricky industry to navigate. But when you have like your sibling there, it's like a built-in buddy to help you through the crazy path. Um, Another group of people who did that very, very well are I feel like Tia and Tamara, were they Disney? Would you consider them Disney stars? Even though they were in Twitches, that wasn't until like 2005 and its sequel in 2007. But their original run and their original like big thing was Sister Sister, which was on ABC Family, but that was like in the 90s, like 96 to like 2001 or something. But yeah, I love Tia and Tamara. We should talk about them more often. All right. Will I do a video on animated Disney movies like The Lion King? I like to never say never. Um, Personally, I don't. Well, again, the whole movies thing, because like I love television more than movies, but I'm always open to suggestion because I know that these are the things that you guys love too. And as much as I do like making like stuff that I like, I also like making stuff that you guys like and would want to watch too. So yeah, I'm open to suggestion. If I were to do that, let me see what movie I would probably do. Um Probably something like Beauty and the Beast. Cuz The Lion King like okay, I get that I get that The Lion King is supposed to be like set in Africa and everything. Mufasa. And like Sabenya, you know. And I'm just saying like as a person who was born to um African immigrants, um like how you said one of you guys said that like the Cheetah Girls movie didn't really show Africa in I mean it didn't show India in like the best light. I feel like The Lion King didn't really do that for Africa just because of the fact that they're animals. Like I would have preferred it if it was like actually like people instead. Also, I just thought that like it was like what? Oh, okay, sorry. I said what because I was looking on the plot for Beauty and the Beast, like just looking for more details, and then I saw somebody like a comment that said died of AIDS, and I was like, when did that happen in Beauty and the Beast? Was I watching that movie? Were we watching the same movie? What? Oh my god. And they said no, an executive producer. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. But the film was dedicated in his memory or to his memory. But oh my gosh, I got scared for a minute because I thought that was like in the movie. Like somebody died of AIDS in the movie. Like we don't joke about that. That's serious. Diseases, please. That's like terrifying. That's the one thing like I can't ever like I know jokes can be like offensive. They can like push and make fun of certain things, but any joke that's based on like a disease, I don't find funny at all. Like cancer, don't joke about that. That stuff is serious, like traumatizing. Okay, but yeah, back to lighthearted stuff, lighthearted stuff. We need to uplift our spirit. Okay, yeah. But if I were to talk about more animated movies, like yeah, you said animated like The Lion King. How would you feel about like the newer like 3D Pixar animated like stuff like The Incredibles and um Ratatouille and stuff like that? Do you like those? Shrek and everything like the computer animated stuff or do you like the 2D like The Little Mermaid and The Princess and the Frog and stuff like that? But yeah, I feel like I should do it sometime because I want to like expand my content and reach. And part of doing that is by breaking out and doing more stuff. So yeah, not a bad idea. I should, Olivia, I should. You're right, I should. Okay, what were more worse episodes in the first season of Hannah? Aside from the Jack Santa stuff, I don't really think like because a lot of the stuff that happened were in the later seasons where they just like Miley turned into a monster. The first season, I actually do like it. I think it's sweet. Do I like it? Yeah, I think I might at times like it more than season 2. All right. Okay. The person was Howard Ashman. He was the lyricist for the songs on The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and some of the songs for Aladdin. Oh, that man was so talented. He didn't deserve to go out like that. But rest in peace, Howard. Your work will be respected and be loved for many generations to come. All right, you're going to head off to bed. Thank you, music lover. Thank you for joining us. Also, everybody who's still here, I just wanted to say thank you so much for our channel. I say our because it's all about us. We reached 2,000 subs. 2,000. Y'all better be some of the, I know it. You guys are some of the subs, but 2,000 subs. Can you imagine that? Wow. Hopefully, we grow from here. I'm glad we've come this far, and I hope it gets even bigger than this. All right, I'm gonna try to go until midnight, you guys, which is in 28 minutes for me. And then after that, I'm like, I'm done because it's like too hot. So if I do end up like overheating before then, I'm gonna like call it quits, but I'm gonna try my best to like go for midnight. Okay, guys? What else can I talk about? Because I talked about the PJs. I remember that. Eve, go watch that show. Bridgerton, I will watch that show. Ooh, Urban Outfitters, Vinyl, Descendants, Hawaii, Hannah Montana, Belle. Oh, right, right, right. Sorry, I didn't see your, I forgot to answer your question. Did I ever try watching the Arrowverse shows? Is, um is The Flash part of that? I did watch Supergirl. I don't know if that's considered part of the Arrowverse. Okay, The Flash is part of it. I I know what The Flash is, and I know Grayson is in it, and I like him. I really do. But I didn't watch this show. But I did watch Supergirl. I did watch Supergirl. I watched, like, the first 2 seasons, and I really did like that show. But, and I know of The Flash, but that's pretty much it when it comes to the Arrowverse. Okay. Arrowverse is, Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow, etc. So, yeah, I did watch the first 2 seasons of Supergirl. Um, I watched I didn't watch The Flash, but I do know what it is very, very well. The other shows I don't think I've heard of. I did watch Once Upon a Time, which I know is not in the Arrowverse, but that's another show that I really, really did love. Um, there's so many shows that I do love that are not really like, I don't really talk about them a lot on this channel just because 1, I don't think they, like, really fit the brand for what my channel is, so I wouldn't think that people would be interested in it. But sometimes there are, like, surprises. Oh, during the end of season 1, there's a crossover with The Flash. I'm trying to remember that because 'cause it's been, like, a while since I've seen Supergirl. But, what was I about to say? I watched Once Upon a Time. I really like that show. What's another show that I liked, but I didn't really talk about? Now I remember where I was gonna go. So, yeah, there's a lot of shows that I do watch, a lot of shows and movies that I watch and I love, but I just don't really talk about them because I don't feel like they fit the brand of my channel, so I never really, like, talked about them here. However, one of the shows that I did talk about and did love, like, I watched it, I loved it, and I, like, decided to take a gamble, was, Once Upon a Time. Alright, see ya. I'm gonna keep talking. Okay, so one of the shows that I did love is, is called Out of This World, and it's a show about a 13-year-old girl named, Evie, and she's, like, half alien, and she didn't know that she was half alien because her father was not really a part of her life for the first 13 years of her life, basically. And then on her 13th birthday, she discovers that she's on her 13th birthday, sorry, a car just zoomed by. But on her 13th birthday, Evie discovers that she's half alien and that it comes from her father's side of the family. And the powers don't kick in until you're 13. So that's why she didn't know. But anyway, she finds out that she can freeze time and like unfreeze time whenever she wants. She can freeze time by like touching her index and her 2 index fingers together, and she can freeze that's how she freezes time, and to unfreeze, she just claps. And, the show was very crazy, and she also, like, communicates with her father whenever she's, like yeah, she communicates with her father, through, like, this cube that sits on her bedside table, and that, like, opens and closes, and whenever she has, like, a question about, like, being half alien or whatever, her father, like, just tells her, but she doesn't see her father. We only hear him and hear his voice. But yeah, it's a wonderful show. I made a whole video about it and people actually liked it. So yeah, y'all should go check that out. I don't know. I'm getting hot and I feel like people are already gone because like it's late and you all wanna, like, go to bed, enjoy your night. Alright. So I'm gonna go to sleep. Thank you guys so much for joining my live stream and making my Saturday night. Alright, it's so hot. It's so hot in here. I said I was gonna go until midnight, but I feel like I don't know, y'all. I'm gonna collapse because of the heat. So I need to turn on my AC, but and my throat is starting to hurt. But I think this is the longest I've ever gone for a live stream. But I'm glad you all can join. And thank you so much. And I'll see you very, very soon with the new video, okay? Like I said, I'm working on it. I just wrote the script and I'm gonna film it tomorrow and it'll be out sometime this week. But until then, y'all can watch this live stream over and over again. It's gonna be on demand because now live is over. But thank y'all for joining. Bye. I'm gonna write a message. All right. Y'all, I'm about to go. I just needed to like say thank you guys for joining and making my Saturday night. I need to go to sleep. I'm not even tired, I'm just hot, and I can't turn on the AC while I'm live streaming because it's gonna make too much noise. But thank you guys for making my Saturday night. Imma go. I hate to leave you, but bye.